welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'll be your host today, Miss Noir. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Please share your thoughts and opinions with me in the comment section below. Today we will be exploring a Reddit post and seeing where it takes us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Today's story mentions threats of taking one's own life and self-harm. Please feel free to skip if you wish. Today's story is from r/relationship advice by Deleted, who writes, Husband, 37 male, attempted to manipulate me, 35 female. I called his bluff. Now what? Throwaway because my family uses Reddit. I, 35 female, have been married to my husband, 37 male, for 5.5 years, and we have an 18-month-old daughter. We have generally had a good marriage, but have repeatedly had the same two arguments for 3+ years. The first argument is that I work full-time, pay 85% of our bills, and do all of the cooking, cleaning, shopping, laundry, running of the household, etc. He also works full-time, but after work comes home and immediately takes his work clothes off, throws them on the couch in my living room, and goes into the family room to watch YouTube. I have repeatedly asked for help and get the runaround. The second is that he has a small smut addiction and suffers from premature ejaculation, an issue in itself, but not our main problem currently. The last week and a half or so, I had been running 80 miles an hour getting ready for the holiday this week. I was cleaning the house, washing the bedding in the guest room, cleaning the fridge, doing all of the bits and pieces that you need to do to host family for Thanksgiving. I was also doing all of my daily things as well. For example, on a typical day, I wake up, make sure his, mine, and the baby's lunches are packed. She's dressed for daycare, my work bag is packed, drive to work. After work, I drive to the daycare to pick up baby girl, often taking meetings via phone on the commute. Do any errands that need done, grocery, Costco, pharmacy, etc. Come home, immediately breastfeed the baby, start dinner so we can eat once he's home, give the baby a bath, let her play while I clean off the table, do the dishes, clean the kitchen, tidy up, feed her again, get her to sleep, and then finally take a shower myself. It's basically daily tasks, but I don't stop until 9 to 10 at night. Last week I asked again for help, but was told he needed the break because he is tired. I naturally told him that I never get a break and I'm tired too, and need help with the house. If he can't contribute half financially, he can at least contribute half of the cleaning. He shut down and just gave me the silent treatment for 2 days, then asked me if I wanted to go to his mother's house with him and the baby. I said only if he wasn't going to ignore me the whole time. That was the match that lit the fuse. He exploded. Evidently, I have done nothing but bitch for the last 3 years. He hates cleaning and isn't going to do it. That if him contributing is such a big deal, then we should divorce. I asked him to explain what that looks like to him. He said, I'll get an apartment and sign the house over to you. Refinance it in your name. We'll split custody 50-50 and split her expenses 50-50 as well. He then stormed out of the house and went to his mother's until about 1 a.m. He again gave me the silent treatment for 2 days. The other day I asked him how his apartment hunting was going, and he said, What? I told him I thought he was right. I had been bitching about this for 3 years. I'm miserable, and he's not helping making my life easier. That I agreed divorce is the best option, and that I would rather separate as friends and be good co-parents than grow to hate him and feel stuck in a toxic marriage. He then said, I only did that to scare you into shutting up. Basically, he attempted to emotionally abuse, manipulate me to get his way. As someone who grew up in a toxic and abusive childhood, this immediately shut me down emotionally. Like I look at him and I feel nothing. He's trying now to get back in my good graces, bringing flowers, chocolates, and all it does is make me angrier. I need advice. Is the fact that he tried to manipulate me and admitted it a valid reason for me to just want to shut this down? Because I have to be honest, I'm tempted to ruin Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm just angry and reacting out of that, or if I am truly at the end of my rope. OP, I'm sorry to hear that you are unhappy in your marriage. However, you have described so much concerning behavior on your husband's behalf that it is hard to believe that he was ever a different man. He disrespects you every day by not only not helping you with your and his workload in life, such as cooking, cleaning, running errands, caring for your child, etc., but he also throws his belongings all over the place for you to clean up after him. He sounds like a man that married exactly who he wanted to marry, someone who would contribute the majority while he lazes about and contributes the minority. The question I always have for people who find themselves in this dynamic is, why did you choose this person? The answer I usually get is that things used to be really good. He was attentive and considerate and charming and so on and so forth. But if you were a person who wanted to do the bare minimum in life and have someone take care of all the exhausting and boring chores in life, how would you go about attracting such a person? Would you be mean to them when you first met them? Would you be degrading to them when you first started dating them? Would you lure them in by being helpless and useless while expecting them to take care of everything for your own grown adult self? Or would you be nice and considerate and charming so that they would fall in love with you and never leave, so that they can carry the burden of day-to-day life for you forever? A lot of people have a hard time considering the perspective and objectives of other people. They say things like, "I can't imagine anyone being like that." But that is an important part of choosing a life partner. It doesn't serve you to project your thoughts and feelings onto another person because you can't change the other person. So therefore, you just end up making excuses for them when they don't conduct themselves the way that you wish. And you just delude yourself into believing that they are who you want them to be. And this delusion may persist until reality chooses to disabuse you from this delusion. And the thing is, some people desire the dynamic that you have with your husband. For their own reasons, they would like a partner who doesn't get in their way and control any part of their environment, or they have their own reasons for desiring a partner with the character of your husband, which means that it's a good thing that people like your husband exist, but it doesn't sound like your character and his character are compatible. The reason I believe that your husband has always been the way that you describe him as being is because he confidently threatened you with divorce, and then when you followed through with his suggestion of divorce, he tried to punish you by staying out late. It is incredibly vile to make vows to a person and then weaponize those vows. It is blatantly decreeing that his word, his promise, his vow is worthless. He didn't try and communicate with you. He didn't treat you with an ounce of respect. He merely tried to control you with fear. What kind of partner is that? And then, when you followed through with the discussion of divorce by asking him how his apartment hunting was going, he left you and his child alone all night just so that you would have negative feelings. Again, he is trying to control you and manipulate you and showing you zero respect. It is very clear from the childish, immature, embarrassing, and disgraceful temper tantrums that your toddler husband is throwing that he is getting exactly what he wants out of his marriage with you, and he only has a problem now that you are trying to take away what he is enjoying by demanding that he invest more energy and effort into your lives. Evidently, he learned you well, and he managed to build his dream marriage, and evidently, you did not learn him well, and you have not built your dream marriage. And the hard truth of it is that the marriage you have is a consequence of you not caring for yourself enough to have been honest with yourself in regards to your husband's true character. Because a person as selfish, disrespectful, manipulative, and inconsiderate as your husband is, shows their true character in time. Which means that either you rushed into marriage with a fairy tale because you didn't spend enough time to realistically know the man that you were dating, or he did convey his character and you refused to believe him when he was showing you exactly who he was. Or you stayed with him despite him not conducting himself in the way that you wanted your partner to for your own reasons, be it insecurities or pressures in life or whatever. And now, since you didn't do the difficult thing before, reality has forced you into doing the impossible things now. What choice do you have but to maintain your marriage as it is? Because your husband isn't going to respect you. He isn't going to invest the energy and effort into helping a woman that he doesn't respect, even if she is his wife. Fundamentally, your husband will not change for you, and let's be real. Even if he did change, it would be temporary. just another manipulation tactic. Or you indeed do divorce your husband, and then you have to deal with co-parenting and the fact that his next wife is going to be a mother figure in your child's life, and everything else that goes along with divorce. It is an impossible decision, and now you must be strong enough to make it. Be honest with yourself, OP. Have enough self-respect to tell yourself the truth and to accept it. You have proven yourself to be a strong, capable, independent woman. The easy thing for you to do is to take care of one less dependent, your husband. No, you don't need him, but maybe you do want him. And if that's the case, how much are you willing to pay for him? The saying goes, nothing in life is free, not even your husband. He has a price of his own. That price is what you are paying. You must cook for him. You must clean for him. You must bear his children. You must raise those children by yourself. You must cater to his every whim, and if you don't, he will be very upset and threaten to go find someone who will. The world provides us with options. If you need a car to get from point A to point B, then you can buy a junkyard special that barely runs, but it's cheap and it will get you to where you are going sometimes. Or you can buy a custom-ordered supercar, built just the way you want it, but that is going to be extremely expensive. If you can only afford the junkyard special, then you just have to accept the fact that you cannot have the supercar. So either you can afford your husband's price, or you can't. And if you can afford your husband's price, then you either will or you won't. The choice is yours to make, but the price is his to set. And that is all beside the point of the fact that you get to choose your own price. And are you charging it? I wish you the best of luck, OP. Update. Hi y'all, it's been a while since I posted, but I wanted to let things play out and give you a full update. Firstly, I wanted to say thank you to all who responded and gave encouragement and help. You helped more than you know. I did it. I filed for divorce. Our divorce should be final mid-June. He fought it for a few months, but finally seems to see that I can't move on and I won't let him rug sweep it anymore. He is still talking about hoping for a future reconciliation, but I told him that honestly, without massive amounts of therapy for both of us, I don't see much hope there. Honestly, once he accepted that I wasn't giving in and that the divorce was real, he was very agreeable to discussing terms and working with me on custody arrangements, housing, etc. That's not to say we didn't have our drama, Lord knows we did. Fortunately, nothing too physical towards me. He grabbed me a few times trying to force me to stay in a room to get yelled at, but I set him straight real quick there. His threats were mostly towards self-harm. The first time was back in February. He was still in denial that I had filed and was very angry about losing the best things in his life. He threatened to go downstairs and take his own life. Because I'm stubborn as the day is long and don't have the sense God gave a goose, I followed him down there. I ended up wrestling his gun away and locking myself and the toddler in the bedroom. I should have called the police. I still don't know why I didn't. Instead, I called his brother and told him to come get him. They did, and the next day I took the gun. That was unloaded and never had any ammo because he was manipulating me again to his parents and said if the gun made another appearance in my home or around my child, I would ensure he was never around her again. It hasn't been seen since. A few weeks later, on their B-Day, toddler and soon-to-be ex share B-Day, he jumped off my 2-story deck after my daughter's B-Day party. I didn't see it. I came down the hall and our 2-year-old said, "Mama, Daddy fall." I walked outside and he was kneeling by my lawnmower, said he was fixing it. Obviously, my 2-year-old hasn't learned to lie yet. I texted my friend and said, I'm pretty sure he just jumped off the deck. He doesn't seem hurt, but IDK what to do. As I hit send, I hear him on the deck talking to our kid. I look at the door and he's leaning off the edge, obviously about to jump again. I lost it. It probably wasn't the appropriate thing to say, and I probably am a terrible person for saying it, but it worked and I don't regret it. I told him, so help me God, if you jump off this deck and die, I will move and your family will likely only see her once a year. You jump off this deck and live, and I guarantee you will never see her unsupervised again. You step back over that railing and get both feet on this deck right now, or I swear to God I'll make sure of it. He stepped back on the deck pretty quickly. He, of course, wanted to then argue about how I am driving him to this. how he doesn't deserve to be left alone. I'm breaking his heart. I reminded him he spent the last almost 4 years now breaking my heart and spirit, and I was done having this conversation. As I turned to walk away, this man grabbed my wrist to force me to turn around. I already had my phone in my hand, and I never called 911 so fast. The police showed up and took him to the hospital for a psych evaluation. I was under the impression that an attempt to take one's own life in this state requires a 72-hour hold. They released him after 2 hours, suggesting he talk to a therapist. I didn't want to involve the police. I tried to avoid it, but I kind of wish I had involved them earlier. He has been much more docile and accepting since. No more grabbing, no more threats. We still argue, but at least the worst part seems to have disappeared. It helps that even his parents are telling him, "She called the cops on you, she's crazy, let her go." I'm fine with being labeled the crazy one. I've been called worse by better people. TLDR, little bit of drama, but everything is going good now, and divorce should be final in mid-June. Send good vibes. Thank you again. Y'all were the voice of reason I needed. And you have no idea how many times I read those comments when I needed encouragement and felt like I had no one in my corner. Thank you for the update, OP. I'm happy that you are doing better. It seems that your husband chose to double down on his childish and immature behavior for not getting his way, which is you being threatened and manipulated into behaving as he wishes. On his end, his manipulative behavior is extremely immature, but on your end, you enabled him. He created a scene and you participated. A grown adult behaving like a child does not make their behavior serious or important just because they are old. It is just as trivial as when a child behaves that way. And it takes an adult to involve themselves in the situation and put an end to it by not tolerating it. You tolerated it. You encouraged it with your participation. You enabled it by contributing to it. You wrestled the gun out of his hands. Lights. You yelled at him for jumping off the balcony. Camera. You called the police because you grabbed your arm. Action. You got the drama that you perpetuated. It is not my place to comment on your husband's mental health or the processes of your healthcare systems. However, I would imagine that the trained medical professionals in your local healthcare know the difference between someone who is genuinely at risk of taking their own life and someone who is being manipulative. You said the gun was never loaded. That means what it means, and I'll leave us all to make of it what we will. He jumped off the balcony and was so uninjured he was going to do it again. Again, I'll leave all of us to make of that what we will. Maybe he had you convinced that he was genuinely at risk of taking his own life, but the medical professionals released him. And again, I will leave us all to make of this what we will. OP, I wish you the best of luck going forward. I hope you learn about yourself so that you can successfully build the future for yourself that you desire, because you are a capable and hard-working individual, and you have the ability, the work ethic, and the drive to accomplish anything you wish. I also hope that you find the strength to be honest with yourself, and the self-respect to not excuse other people's poor behavior, because you are a rare individual, and the world needs more people like you. So please take care of yourself. I hope you live your best life, OP. Today's joke of the day is by Kazungu Bayo, who writes, "My neighbor knocked on my door at 2 a.m. this morning and said, 'I can't sleep.' 'Well, it's your lucky day,' I said. 'We've got a party going on in here. Come in.'" That's a good one, Kazungu Bayo. Thank you for that. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you next time. I'm Miss Noir. Have a good day.